Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Jason's virtual weather school. Hopefully, you are enjoying yourself and you're learning a couple of things. So, today we're going to be talking about hurricanes, but as I like to start off with something funny. So, here's my question. Where do snowmen keep all of their money? Hmm. Four, three, two, one. All right. So, all men keep their money in the snowbank. Get it? Snowbank. All right. Well, I love all of the questions that I've been receiving on social media as well as via email. You can always send me a email at jfrazer at wkyc.com, or you can always tag me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram at Jason Fraser. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about hurricanes, how they form, how they end up impacting Ohio. And then we're going to do a little experiment where we're going to allow you to create your own hurricane. And then we're going to talk a little bit about. All right, so let's talk a little bit about hurricanes, how they basically form. And before I get started with that, I need to discuss about thunderstorms. You might remember we did a whole unit on thunderstorms, and hurricanes start off as thunderstorms. And if you remember, thunderstorms are nothing more than rainstorms that have thunder as lightning. Now, what happens is those thunderstorms end up getting together and they start organizing. And they start off as tropical depressions, and then they get upgraded to tropical storms. Then eventually they get upgraded to hurricanes. Now, you might be wondering, well, how does that all happen? Well, we in the United States, we evaluate storms based on their wind speed. So tropical storms are sustained winds, and that means winds that keep happening, and they measure between 39 upwards of 73 miles per hour. Now, once they get beyond the 74-mile per hour rank, that's when they're upgraded to hurricanes. The other thing about hurricanes is they have an eye. Yes, an eye, just like your eye. The only thing that's different is everything actually goes around the eye. I'll explain in a second. So, in order to have a hurricane, you need to have a couple of different things. You need to have water that's below the storm that has to be 80 degrees or higher. Then you can't have any wind shear. Do you remember what wind shear is? Well, wind shear is a change in wind speed and wind direction. Hurricanes don't really like that. And part of the reason why is because they tend to be really, really tall storms. We're talking 20,000, 30, 40,000 feet. So if you have a change in wind direction or wind speed, that actually ends up knocking off the top of the storm. They like lots and lots of water, lots of moisture, and they have to be north of the equator. Hurricanes, for some reason, don't like to actually be on the equator. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how hurricanes are formed, or as I like to call them, the anatomy of hurricanes. So, right in the center of your screen, you might notice that little thing that looks like a belly button, right? That thing right there. That's what we call the eye of the storm. All right. Now, on the outside of the storm, we have this thing called the eye wall. And the eye wall, that is where you're going to find your biggest winds, your heaviest rainfall. That is just where you do not want to be during a hurricane. Now, here's what it looks like inside the eye of a hurricane. There are a very brave group of men and women called the hurricane hunters. And what they do is they actually fly into the middle of hurricanes. And you might be wondering, why would they do that? Why would they risk their lives to do that? Well, the reason why is remember, you might remember in our previous lesson, we had talked about how the majority of our weather instruments are where? They're on the ground. And so, where do you find hurricanes? That's right, in the sky. So, if we have a hurricane or storm that's in the sky and it's really, 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 really big, we have to figure out a way to measure what's happening. So, that's why we fly into the middle of hurricanes. Now, if you look closely, you'll actually see that the inside of the eye is really, 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 really calm and it's really defined. Now, in the middle of an eye of a storm, you can actually look up and see clear blue skies. There's actually no wind. It's very calm. It's very interesting to see in person too. So hurricanes can also potentially have tornadoes, particularly if you're in that northeast quadrant, that front portion of the storm. And if you remember, what are tornadoes? Those are those very violent rotating columns of air. Remember, I bought this thing out and I had said, yeah, the air goes all the way around, and then you have the funnel cloud, and it extends all the way to the ground. So, yes, in the middle of a hurricane, you can have tornadoes. And if you have tornadoes, that also means you can have water spouts. And if you might remember, water spouts, those are basically tornadoes over water. And they can cause larger waves, high winds, lightning, hail, and usually it goes away right before it makes landfall. But in some cases with hurricanes, you can actually have a water spout become a tornado. And the other thing with hurricanes that are really, 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 really dangerous is they take water that's in the ocean and it pushes it all on. So, where do hurricanes originate? Well, just like an airplane or just like a highway, hurricanes actually have specific places that they go. Now, today I'm going to talk just about the Atlantic hurricanes, but there were actually hurricanes that happen all across the earth. Now, in different parts of the world, hurricanes are called different things. So, in other parts of the world, like Asia, for example, hurricanes are referred to as typhoons. In other parts of the world, like Australia, they're actually referred to as cyclones. Here in the United States, we get hurricanes in two different places. Number one, normally on the Atlantic, and part of the reason why is, what do you think? Hmm. Well, remember I said that hurricanes need really, really, really warm water. And where do you find that warm water? Right next to Florida, where it's really tropical. The other place that we tend to also find hurricanes is right on the western border of Mexico, right there. Yep, hurricanes develop over there too. And they usually end up going out to sea. And I know the folks over in California are really thankful for that. But sometimes with hurricanes on the eastern side of the United States, they'll either make landfall in Florida, sometimes in Louisiana, sometimes in Mississippi, Alabama, even South Carolina and North Carolina. And the other thing is, even after they make landfall, they usually will continue on, and they can potentially impact Ohio as well. Now, what prevents them from doing that is it depends on what other storms are right here. Now, usually what will happen is the hurricane will come here and then it'll start making a turn and go eastward. Because as we remember, most storms in the United States do what? They move from west to east. All right. And so if there's a storm that's right over here and the hurricane is trying to come, what'll happen is the storm will actually end up turning and going that way. Some pretty interesting stuff to see. So we rate hurricanes based on their wind speed. Remember, I talked a little bit about this earlier about if you have a storm that is 74 miles per hour or higher, we classify it as a hurricane. So different wind speeds will correspond to different categories. And this is all due to the damage that it does and also what we call storm surge. So remember how I talked about how the hurricane will sometimes push that water on the land. That's what we call storm surge. And sometimes it can be really, really, really high. You can have very high waves, and it can cause a lot of damage on the beaches and for coastal communities. So with a category one hurricane, that basically means you're going to see wind speeds anywhere between 74 miles per hour and 95 miles per hour. Now, usually on land, it'll do a little bit of damage, but it won't do a lot of damage. Sometimes you'll find a few trees down, maybe you'll find a few shingles out of place, maybe some minor damage to some homes, and you'll see storm surge that's anywhere between 4 and about 5 feet. But then with a category two storm, that's where things start to get a little messy, a little bit more dicey. That's when we start to see wind speeds anywhere between 96 miles per hour and 110 miles per hour. And we start to see a little bit more damage when you compare that to a Category 1 hurricane. And the storm surge can be anywhere between 6 to about 8 feet. So that means we're seeing waves about 6 to 8 feet. Think of all the really big basketball players. Yeah, imagine water about the size of them coming towards your house. Woo, that gets a little scary. Then we have Category 3 storms. Their winds range anywhere from 111 to upwards of 129 miles per hour. That's usually where we start to see a lot more damage. And storm surge is anywhere between 9 and about 12 feet. Category 4 storms, that's where we're going to have a lot more damage. We're talking extreme damage. We're talking about areas where there likely won't be anything left because not only the wind speed, which is anywhere between 130 to upwards of 156 miles per hour, but you're also talking about storm surge. So again, those waves were really, 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 really big. So anywhere between 13 to 18 feet. Probably your mom or dad is probably about 5 feet 5 inches. So imagine a wave that is twice the size of them. That's what we're talking about with Category 4 storms. And then with Category 5, that is the absolute strongest storms on record. And those storms have winds anywhere from 157 miles per hour or higher. And there's usually nothing there after Category 5 storms. And we could potentially end up seeing storm surges. Again, those are waves about or higher. Now, with the Atlantic storms, the Atlantic hurricanes, they every single storm has a name, and those storms are named by the WMO, the World Meteorological Organization. And what they have been able to figure out, along with the folks here in the United States, is that the hurricane season basically lasts for about 6 months. It goes from June to November. And usually we don't really start to see a lot of activity until the end of August into September and then October, the first part of October. Usually in the United States, as I mentioned, landfall usually happens someplace in the south. And depending on where those other storms are, is what see here in Ohio. And here are some fast facts usually about hurricane season. Usually, on average, here in the United States, we get about 12 named storms. So storms start to become named when they become tropical storms. Remember, I mentioned about those winds, right? And then we usually get about 6 hurricanes. All right, so that's where we see the storms that are 74 miles per hour or higher. And a major storm that's considered a Category 3 or higher. Usually, on average, we usually will see about 3 of them a year. Now, these are estimates. They can change every year. They can be higher, they can be lower. So when I say on average, that usually means that if you take 5 years in a row, usually for 5 years, that's what we'll see. And you can see this past year, we had estimates where we were going to see 18 named storms and about 6 hurricanes and 3 major ones. So those estimates can change. So I want to make a hurricane with you. So I'm going to take a break and we're going to go to my kitchen and we're going to make a hurricane real quick. So you're going to need a couple of things for this experiment. You're going to need a spoon, a thing of water, and either some crushed red peppers or some food dye. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your spoon and you're just going to put it in here and you're just going to start stirring really, 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 really fast. And then you're going to notice there on the side that it looks like it's a hurricane now. Now, if you want to see what the outside of the hurricane looks like, what you're going to do is you're going to take your red peppers and you're just going to pour them in. And the cool part is where all of those red peppers are, you'll notice is right on the outside. And there you can very clearly see the eye of the storm. And just like that, you have built a hurricane at home. All right, so before we go, I want to talk a little bit about hurricane safety. What are some things that you should do if you know that a hurricane coming your way. So the first thing that you need to do is very similar to what you would do with tornadoes, is make sure that you and your parent have a way of getting all of those watches and warnings either to your cell phone or to your. The second thing is, whatever you do not stay outside during a hurricane. You will get injured. And I know a lot of people that want to do that. What do? They like to get their cell phone and try to record it. It's not what you want to do, because there's a lot of debris that's moving around that could potentially injure you. The other thing that you'll want to do is to try and get away from the coast. Try to get inland or try to go to higher ground. So maybe it's staying at your aunt's house on a hill, or maybe it's staying at a hotel. You'll definitely want to do that and not stick around the coast. Then the last thing is, if you can't see the ground, don't walk in the water. Okay. I know a lot of people, what they'll try and do is they'll say, "Oh, I know how deep it is." And then they'll start walking and then they realize when the water is all the way up to here, oops, the water was a lot deeper. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. And I don't want to see that happen to you. Before I go, the last thing, this is really the last thing, is whatever you do, make sure that you and your family have what I call go packs. And the go packs include any canned meals, maybe like canned soup, water. You'll definitely want to make sure that you have any medicine that you need, flashlight, as well as some batteries. All right, and we're done, ladies and gentlemen. So tomorrow we're going to be discussing radar and how radar works. And then I'm going to teach you just a few tricks to how to identify what storms are happening and where they are going to be going next. And radar is something that is really, 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 really valuable, not only for meteorologists, but people who depend on what happens on or I should say, they really depend on what happens with the weather. Always, you can feel free to ask me a question. JFRAZER at WKYC.com. You can drop me an email or tag me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Snapchat, and I will respond to you. And one last thing, if you are watching me on Facebook, just want to remind you this lesson will automatically be posted here within the next 5 minutes, so you can rewatch it if you didn't tune into this lesson in time. It's also going to be available on our website, WKYC.com. Just go under the weather page. You should be able to see them. All right. So again, radar, how it works and how we can all use it to remain safe. That is going to be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.